Chief Justice the Honorable Roxanne George in her address urged members of the Fourth Estate to practice responsible reporting for indictable offenses involving domestic violence, even though there is no legislation for those cases to be heard in camera presently.
We may have to seek amendment to the law to provide for in-camera hearings of criminal cases that are domestic violence related, like the provision in place for sexual offenses cases. In the meantime, responsible reporting can go a long way to assisting in this regard.
Responsible reporting, the Chief Justice reminded, includes being accurate, unbiased, and unsensational. The Domestic Violence Act stipulates that victims can apply for a protection order which guards them against their abuser. The order, once granted, is served by a police officer in the company of the victim and the abuser. Acting Principal Magistrate Shardell Isaacs Marcus explained the process.
Persons can apply for protection orders by going to any of the magistrate's courts, the office, or wherever the court is sitting in all of the districts. The applicant provides the clerk of court with information as it relates to the conduct or words of the abuser. In the alternative, persons can approach the legal aid office or an attorney at law who can file for a protection order at the court registry, usually with an affidavit in support. The clerk at the registry will prepare the documents based on the information that the victim will have provided and have it placed before a magistrate on the same day or the very next day.
The court can then issue a restraining order to the abuser based on the evidence provided. Should there be a breach of the order, the abuser can be fined or jailed. Justice Isaacs Marcus highlighted a crucial aspect that should not be overlooked by media operatives when reporting on these sensitive cases.
There have been many instances where the protection order is granted under the Domestic Violence Act and not published, but the criminal matter arising out of the same circumstances is published in the media. The media ought to avoid publishing matters of this nature altogether, or to publish it in such a manner that the identity of the virtual complainant remains unknown.
In February of this year, Vashti Mahez was allegedly chopped by her reputed husband, Fazil Osman, while in the company of a female rural constable who was at the time serving the man a restraining order at Mahaika, East Coast, Demerara. When asked about the laws in place to prevent such recurrences, the Chief Justice highlighted that while the law outlines that an officer should accompany the complainant, there is another alternative that can be used to identify the abuser.
In the civil domestic violence is a civil setting. In divorce proceedings, they can be used of a photograph in order to serve. It's rarely done. Usually the petitioner will have to go and effect the service along with the marshal. So we can look at how we can effect personal service without putting a complainant in harm's way. But it's not an easy take because, as Magistrate has pointed out, the law has certain requirements. Because you don't want a situation, and it has happened, more particularly in divorce matters, where they point out the wrong person.
The event was a collaborative effort of the Guyana Press Association, UNICEF, and the University of Guyana's PACE department. Tamika Rodney reporting for HGP Nightly News.